Welcome to the Student Employment Training Session for Managing and Resolving Conflict with your student employees. We'll explore strategies for preventing and handling conflicts in the workplace. Conflicts are a natural part of any dynamic environment, and when managed effectively, they can lead to positive change and growth. However, unaddressed or poorly managed conflicts can have a detrimental effect on our work atmosphere and relationships with our student employees. By understanding the significance of conflict resolution, supervisors and students can empower themselves to create a positive and thriving workplace. First, we'll identify some of the common causes of student employment conflicts, including differences in diversity, miscommunication and differing expectations, and workplace stress. Awareness of the cause of the conflict is the first step towards resolution. Let's review the first common cause for conflict: differences in diversity. Recognizing generational diversity is crucial in managing conflicts with our student employees. Instead of making assumptions, let's replace judgments with curiosity, asking, "What's going on with my Gen Z employees?" to foster understanding. Encourage open communication, allowing everyone to share their perspectives without judgment. Embrace flexibility and compromise to accommodate diverse work styles. Finally, highlight the strengths each generation brings to the team. By embracing these approaches, we create a collaborative workplace where everyone feels valued. Given MATC's vibrant student community, conflicts between supervisors and student employees can be influenced by diverse cultural backgrounds. In fact, many of our student employees are actually international students, and their first job in the United States is often on campus. MATC proudly hosts a high number of international students from many countries across the globe, whom often bring unique cultural perspectives with differences in communication norms, work ethics, and workplace expectations, which impact interactions between supervisors, student employees, and their peers. As shown on the screen, there are three examples of cultural clashes. For example, a supervisor expects direct verbal communication, while an international student may prefer indirect or nonverbal communication. A student employee from a hierarchical culture may hesitate to express opinions to a supervisor, affecting open communication. And in our final example, a supervisor valuing punctuality may clash with a student employee from a culture with a more relaxed approach to time. How can we be better at managing conflict that stems from cultural differences? First, being curious and open-minded about our diverse student body and taking DEI learning opportunities and training whenever possible. Doing so will help you to gain awareness and insights into potential cultural differences, laying the foundation for a more inclusive workplace. Next, encourage open dialogue with your student employees. Create a space where they feel comfortable discussing their diverse cultural perspectives. By understanding and appreciating these differences, we can find common ground and strengthen our team. Discussing both differences and commonalities is equally important. Establishing workplace expectations through open communication ensures everyone is on the same page, reducing the chances of misunderstandings. Lastly, recognize and celebrate the cultural diversity at MATC. Please note, there are many factors that contribute to our diversity and complexity, not just cultural and generational, but the key point is that embracing and appreciating our diverse differences and perspectives can contribute to a richer and more vibrant work environment. The next most common cause of conflict stems from miscommunication and differing expectations. This can include unspoken assumptions and expectations, and how varied communication styles and channels may lead to misinterpretation. Varied communication styles and channels can lead to misinterpretation. While text messages and virtual platforms are convenient, in-person interactions provide richer context and reduce the chances of misinterpretation. When feasible, important discussions with your student employees should use face-to-face communication rather than email or text. Our final common cause of student employment, workplace conflict is workplace stress. Student employees often face a multitude of challenges, including academic pressures, family responsibilities, financial struggles, and more. When workplace stressors are not acknowledged, they can manifest as conflicts between student employees and their supervisors. The stressors may affect performance, communication, and overall job satisfaction, leading to tension in the workplace relationship. Create an open and approachable environment where student employees feel comfortable sharing their concerns. Make sure you are scheduling regular one on one check ins to discuss workload, challenges, and overall well being. Be flexible with scheduling or workload adjustments to accommodate exam periods or personal challenges. Listen actively and demonstrate empathy by acknowledging the unique challenges each student employee may be facing. Inform student employees about available campus resources for academic support, counseling, and financial assistance. Emphasize the importance of utilizing these resources to alleviate stress and overcome challenges. Recognize and acknowledge the hard work and dedication of student employees. Provide positive feedback and reinforcement to boost morale. Now let's shift our focus to the proactive side of conflict management, prevention. Here are some strategies to prevent conflicts. First, during orientation and training, set clear expectations. Define the roles and responsibilities, performance expectations, attendance policy, preferred communication methods, dress code, guidelines for personal phone usage, and procedures for handling unfamiliar situations. This clarity minimizes potential misunderstandings and performance issues. Next, engage in team building activities to build strong connections within your team. These activities are not just about completing tasks, but also about getting to know each other on a more personal level. Consider activities that promote camaraderie and help to break down barriers. This could include icebreaker games, collaborative projects, or even team outings. Have an inclusive atmosphere where student employees not only work together but also feel comfortable with one another. Encourage open communication and create opportunities for them to share not only work related concerns but also personal insights. Building trusting relationships with your team is fundamental to preventing conflicts and enhancing collaboration. The goal is to create an environment where everyone feels valued, heard, and connected. This will not only prevent conflicts but also cultivate a workplace where student employees feel at ease with each other and with you. Have regular, reoccurring one on one meetings to check in, to discuss workload, challenges, and overall well being. Finally, plan to have reflective performance conversations once or twice a semester. Ask open ended questions such as where do you think you did great? Where do you think you got stuck? And how can you do better or differently next time? Review our end of semester performance conversations resource on our website for additional details. When we start with asking what's going well, it's because we want to reinforce good behavior and acknowledge growth and successes that the student has had in their role. You can even reverse the question and ask, as a supervisor, where do you think I have done great? Through this question, you may gain valuable insights into your own leadership style. When we use this coaching framework of open ended questions, we start to build accountability within our employees, and they will start to be more self reflective and ask themselves those questions, not just during performance conversations, but in their everyday work. As a supervisor, at some point, you'll have to deal with unmet expectations or not so great work behavior. It will involve some difficult conversations, but it's important to use the MATC feedback model when sorting out problems or giving feedback. Assume no ill intent, provide the situation, behavior, impact, input, recommendations, and agree to follow up on the situation. Review the MATC feedback model on our website and complete the role plays after watching this video. Use and work on your active listening skills. Provide your full attention. Do not be distracted by your phone or laptop. Listen to understand, not to come up with a response. Reflect back what you heard. So if I understand correctly, it sounds like you are feeling because of, and that impacted. This will show that you hear them. Be aware of your intent and desired impact. This means being aware of the way you are delivering your feedback. You want to correct the behavior, but you do not want the impact of the feedback to induce a feeling of shame, disappointment, or feeling unnecessarily criticized. Finally, document conflicts, discussions, and resolutions. This helps in tracking patterns, assessing effectiveness, and enables you to reassess the underlying causes of issues if you notice the same issue occurring in multiple situations. Here are some do's and don'ts of workplace conflict. Now we'll talk about how to resolve issues between your student employees, as you may have a student come to you with an issue they are having with another student employee. First, discuss the issue with each student separately to understand the underlying reasons for the conflict and refrain from showing any judgment or taking of sides. Ask whether they have attempted to solve the problem on their own, and if they haven't, you may want to encourage them to do so first. If they have, ask them what they tried to do and how it went. The more you can empower students to resolve conflict on their own, the better it is for them, for you, and for your whole team. Next, ask for their ideas or suggestions on the best way to resolve the issue at hand. Finally, decide how you would like to proceed, depending on the situation. Is it something your student can be empowered to handle on their own? Is it better if you speak with the other student about the specific behavior or issue? That is up to you to decide. If the issue is still not resolved, you may need to bring both students together and assume the role of mediator. Make sure both student employees feel listened to, have an opportunity to share, and facilitate a discussion to bridge the gap in understanding between the two students. Begin with setting up ground rules such as no interruptions, speak from your own experiences, and avoid personal attacks. Commit to full participation and an agreement to strive to learn and understand each other better. Let them know that your role isn't to decide for them, but to help them work through their differences with each other so that they can work together more collaboratively and handle their differences in the future. Then, have student employee A explain themselves to student employee B. Everything they are feeling, assuming, and what is frustrating them. Encourage the use of I statements such as I feel frustrated when, and avoid labeling the other person such as you are. Ensure that student employee B only listens and does not give feedback or interrupt at this time. Have student employee B repeat back what they heard. So what I heard you say was, you are feeling, is this accurate? Have student employee A confirm that this is accurate or if they need to make any clarifications. Then switch roles. This first step allows both students to hear each other's perspectives. Step 2 is clarifying and addressing any misalignment in interpretations. Step 3 is to determine the endpoint. What do they want to get out of today's discussion? Do they want a better working relationship? To find common ground? Identifying that purpose will help the conversation to successfully move forward. Step 4 is how can we get there? Ask the students what they can do differently to alleviate some of the frustrations or whatever the context of the conflict is. Both students should look at how they contribute to the conflict, reminding the students that they both have ownership in the problem and the ways that they are showing up, intentionally or not, and how that impacts others in the workplace. After both students take a look at how they can operate differently going forward, an agreement for a resolution should be made. After that agreement has been made by both parties, a plan should be put in place to check back in and make sure that this conflict is revisited. Let's check back in a week or a month or a couple of weeks to check in and see how things are going, if everything is okay, and if we are both sticking to our agreements and if any adjustments need to be made at that time. Thank both of the students for being willing to participate and make an effort, listen, and share with each other, acknowledging that it requires some vulnerability from both sides. Using this model is a great way to facilitate conflict resolution between two student employees so that they can hear each other's perspectives and let them take ownership of their resolutions. Now, let's look at addressing conflict between your student employee and customers. As supervisors, it's crucial that we are there for our student employees when conflicts arise. We need to provide immediate support during escalating situations. Imagine a scenario where a customer interaction becomes challenging. In such cases, we should be present to offer assistance and ensure the safety and well-being of both the student employee and the customer. It is equally important to make sure our student employees are well informed about the appropriate procedures for seeking assistance. They should know the steps to take in specific conflict situations. It's essential that our student employees know how to reach out to their supervisor and other office staff for immediate assistance in such cases. This ensures a swift response to diffuse tension and resolve conflicts effectively. Distinguishing between emergency and non-emergency lines is crucial for accurate communication. Student employees should be aware of when to use emergency lines for immediate threats and when to use non-emergency lines for situations that require attention but are not immediately threatening. Lastly, after conflict has been resolved, it's important to debrief with our student employees. Take the time to reflect on the situation together and discuss any necessary follow-up steps. This post-conflict reflection not only provides feedback, but also helps in collaboratively developing strategies to prevent future conflicts of a similar nature. By offering immediate support, informing about procedures, providing guidance on emergency assistance, distinguishing communication channels, and conducting post-conflict debriefs, we can create a safe and supportive environment for our student employees. In conclusion, as student supervisors, we recognize that conflicts are a normal part of any workplace and it's okay to make mistakes while navigating them. As supervisors, exploring various ways to handle conflict and continuously working on those skills is essential. Guiding student employees through their own conflict resolution will enable them to grow their own conflict resolution skills. Together, we strengthen our team, recognizing that we are all on this journey of growth and improvement together. Thank you for watching. Visit our website and our handbook to review our resources for resolving conflict and addressing issues and for guidance on termination policies and guidelines.